Hi, Practice Indy. We are going to do a really quick practice to embody the idea of dharma. So we're in a really complicated time with the coronavirus, and the best thing that is helping me through this is the concept of dharma. So dharma is a collective path or destiny, and then there's swadharma, which is your personal path or destiny. And dharma actually means to make firm. And so if we think about the things that we pursue with deep love and devotion, they're often the things that give us stability, that give us purpose. And so through this chaotic time, my offering to myself and to you would be, what brings you stability in a chaotic, entropic world? We could argue that at all times, really, what we think is stable is not. The ground is always moving beneath our feet. We're always vulnerable to Mother Nature's whims, and yet if we have something to drive us and something to give us purpose, there's always an ability, a capacity to bring stability back. So let's look at that. So come to standing on your mat, or if you don't have a mat where you are, I would recommend having a block. Sorry, I'm very, very pale, and these lights aren't helping, so I'm gonna turn one off actually. All right, that's better. So standing in Tadasana, come into your most narrow Tadasana. Inner edges of your legs as close together as you are capable, squeezing your legs together, and then close your eyes. And instantly feel how, the field of Dharma, the floor you stand on, seems to get a little bit more wobbly. Where can you employ agency to create stability? So firm the leg muscles, squeeze the inner thighs together, hug the navel up and in. You may still feel that teeter-totter, so perhaps in your mind, you create stability by simply breathing with the wind of your inner movements. Just reflecting, acknowledging, also noticing our proprioceptors, those things that step in to try to help us grasp, help us create stability. And slowly opening the eyes. We'll come into tree pose. So hands to the hips, left foot comes to the inner ankle of the right leg. That might be where you stay today, or building your tree to, what your flexibility is, what your ability is without really a warm up or anything. Standing firm as you can, creating stability in your standing leg. Taking your arms out to a T, go ahead, look over your left arm. And then look over your right arm. Notice how as our vision changes, where we look, what we look at, our stability changes. Maybe even looking up. Maybe even closing the eyes. Bringing your gaze back to center, your hands back down. Switching sides, left foot on the ground, right foot to the inner ankle, calf, or inner thigh. Arms back out to the sides, flipping the palms up this time. Noticing how that changes or doesn't your practice. Taking the gaze over your right hand. Taking the gaze over your left hand. Noticing the difference in sides and variables. My left leg is hella unstable. Taking the gaze up, observing what might I do to increase more stability or yield to the wobbling. Maybe you close the eyes. Maybe you fall. If you fall, is there something to catch you there? What does your support system look like? So now grabbing your block or a stack of books and placing your right foot on the block. So as we add variables, the law of entropy is that the more variables you add, the more entropic it becomes. So being clear that when we are looking for stability and firmness, are there things we need to let go of? Are there variables we need to move? Can we move? Do we have the privilege to do so? Or do we need to work with what we have? So standing on the block, creating more instability. Maybe the foot stays on the ground. Maybe the foot comes back to the calf or the inner thigh. Now with an added variable, with an added element of risk. Where do you hold firm? Do you tone the leg more? Do you walk to a wall and ask for help? Do you drop the leg a bit? Perhaps this time, taking the hands behind us, interlacing the palms, stretching and coming into a back bend, lifting the sternum, firming the leg, taking the gaze up. Also knowing your boundaries. Is closing the eyes going to completely derail my firmness, what I'm pursuing? Maybe I stay here. Maybe I go further, I challenge deeper. Everybody's journey is different. Slowly starting to release that. Whether you fell or stayed with it, just be where you're at. Switching sides, left foot to the block, right foot either hangs to the ground, to the ankle, to the inner thigh. Pausing to find your stability. What makes you firm in this position? If you're taking the interlace, switch the clasp, opposite thumb on top, stretching the knuckles back, lifting the sternum, maybe lifting the chest, finding your boundaries in this capacity, in this way. Maybe closing the eyes. Ooh, maybe asking for help from the wall. Take one more breath. And then slowly set it back down. Beautiful job. Let's take 3 breaths together. So come to seated wherever you are. And on your next inhale, breathe in, draw your shoulders to your ears. Exhale, let your shoulders relax down your back. Breathe in, shoulders up to your ears. Soften as you exhale. One more, breathe in. Take a moment to draw your awareness into yourself. Pause to feel where in your mind and your body you feel firm and where you feel loose or chaotic, spread out. How can you work to bring more stability or lean into the wobble? Sometimes stability looks like yielding. Sometimes stability looks like pushing back. And slowly opening your eyes. And to walk away with, I would have you consider, and considering myself, what are my values? What do I hold dearest to in the world? And where can I input more stability? Does that mean boundaries on my consumption of media? Does that mean boundaries on my diet? Am I eating more nutrient-dense foods than I am pizza, if that's accessible to me? Am I drinking less alcohol and sleeping more? So taking a moment to consider all the things that can bring more stability to your life in this time of shaky, difficult circumstances, so that however you show up, for those that you show up for, you can be the most stable version of yourself. And know that sometimes some of us are going to hold that position and others of us need to fall apart. And knowing that we can vacillate between the roles. Life is dynamic and precious, and so I wish you all good health. I wish you all stability or a support system of someone else who can be that when you cannot. Thank you so much. Namaste.